Hey everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I thought we could do just kind of a weird video today. Just a casual kind of craft along, whatever is on my desk and hopefully on your desk, and we can just work because I have gotten myself into some kind of a wormhole here. So I'll try to explain myself. So a while ago, I decided that I would start working on a series of journals. Every now and then I get a real bee in my bonnet to do like a whole series, not just one journal in a theme, but a whole series. So I decided, okay, we're going to do that, and I'm going to do like a retro 80s, 90s nostalgia collection. So that's actually underway. I've been processing books and things for it for some time now, and it's going to take a while. So then I thought, okay, I want to work on some journal in the background that's like something that's a little more not instant, but relatively quick gratification for me, so I can finish something and still feel like I'm not just, you know, puttering along on this one mega project. It helps me stay inspired. So I thought, okay, I've had a couple requests for some art sample books, okay? So I'm working on, I had one person who wanted one, now I have two. And then I ended up kind of getting a lot of materials like ready for them, and I started like enjoying the process of making the samples and decided, you know, maybe I'll make 4 of them, because then that takes care of a couple of folks who really want one, you know, in my next release, but then also there'll be a couple more, and I just like making them, so I'll do that too. But then, you know, that also became a project of multiples, and it still wasn't going to fulfill my let's finish add journal on my regular schedule of getting things done. So I thought I'm going to work on this tree journal with this beautiful book called The Beautiful Tree. But then something happened again where I was like, I have a lot of tree books, a lot of tree ephemera, a lot of tree digital kits. I clearly have a real desire to make tree journals, and I really love them. But also I have these 3 really fun tree books. So there's The Beautiful Tree, and then I found 2 others that was like the Radiant Tree that I just got in a thrift haul, and then I have this other one that's about like tree identification, and all 3 I really like, and 2 of them have some flexibility to kind of play with what I want to do on the cover. Because The Beautiful Tree is just an old, incredible book, and I don't want to touch the cover. I just want to enjoy it for what it is. But like, I do like being able to play with the cover of a book as well, do something fun with it. So I've had my husband actually feverishly dyeing these green papers for me, so that I can add them to my book. I'm just trimming them up for the last of the 3 journals. I've got the signatures for the other 2. They're in the press, and this one's going to be heading there as soon as I get these green pages in. So that being said, I'm not starting anything else. I'm like, no, you're going to turn this into a mountainous project. I don't know, like maybe we just go through these odd, like maximalist type phases or something. I don't know. I am out of control. So I have to just get to work, get things done, get something done. But I think the funny thing is I'm making good progress on all of these. It's just that what's going to happen is I'm not going to release anything for a while, and then I'm going to have this like sputter of like, here's a bunch of things. So, and you know what, that's okay. I've decided I need to do what makes my heart happy at the time, and that's what I'm going to do. Because I think when you don't do that, that's when you lose control, and therefore you lose sight of the joy of making. And that's kind of, for me, always the infinite balance of having a creative business is that, like, don't turn it into just like a business where, you know, you're just slaving over something because you have a demand. I've never been able to really keep up with demand, and that's okay. I don't need to. That's not the point. Oh, I love this. Okay, so here's the Radiant Tree. I rebuilt the spine. I've added the muslin. And let me just check my, yep, we're looking good. We're looking good. Okay, so those are going to head to the press. And then, you know what, I could probably fussy cut some tree-related ephemera and put some paper away maybe, because I've got, so here's the identification of trees and shrubs. So see, both of these, both this one and this one, I need to find the most perfect thing for the covers. So maybe I'll look for that. I kind of have an idea from one digital that I'm using. See, there's the beautiful tree. We're just going to leave her alone, or it alone. But look, I say I got that nice spine all done in there. So yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to look through. Let me just throw this in the press and I'll come back. All right, 3 journals worth of signatures are in the press. I could probably work on some fussy cuts, because I've got quite a bit of stuff I need to fussy cut. I've sort of got, like, a couple of these are going to be pretty much wholly themed around like forestry type trees, and the other one's going to be a little more forest lore, I think. Got so much stuff in here. Oh, the Radiant Tree. That's got to go in there too. I forgot to put that in the press. That's okay. I'll just keep it here with the Radiant Tree, which is under here. Not every single page has to get pressed. I'll just put it in here and I know it'll go in. So, yeah, I'll just leave all this stuff for now maybe, because this will be used in ephemera. It's already not really cut out, but it's already kind of ready to go. So let's focus on cutting up this stuff. Okay. So I also have, I'll show you, I've got these amazing, so this is going to also help me in my quest to make ephemera. This is an amazing book, The Guide to Trees of Canada and North America by Alan Mitchell, illustrated by David Moore. If you ever find this book, grab it. It is amazingly beautiful. So I'm using these pages, some of these pages, in the signatures of the journal. And then I've got the Epitaph for the Elm book by Gerald Wilkinson, which is an amazing book. And actually, while I have it out, I'm hoping I can find a nice, at least one, but maybe a couple of black and white tree images that I can use. So this one will be good, because I've got a little project in mind for some ephemera that I want to make for this journal. What do we have here? There's a lovely poem here, but that's okay. I'm going to use that small black and white picture too. So I've decided I'm going to do Junk Journal July this year again. Actually, I don't know if I did July, I did January, I don't know, but I'm going to do July. And I think I'm going to use it to mostly make ephemera for for these journals, or other journals, things that I'm working on. Because I've got, like, you know, I've got to make my projects kind of relevant. Yeah, let's use that one too. Okay, that'll be good for the project that I want to do. Those 3. Okay. So yeah, I've got the Epitaph for the Elm book, which has all sorts of really cool stuff in it. It's got verses. It's really about just the joy of elm trees. But it's a special book. And then I've also got these lovely big how to draw trees books. These can be a little more challenging to use. I guess it's funny, I was thinking I needed black and white images, and then this is just chock full of them. Why didn't I just come here first? Maybe we will do a couple more. Oh, that one's nice with the crane. This book kind of gives me stress though, because then I end up loving both pages. All right, let's use that page. Okay. And then like look at the back cover. Just gorgeous. See, like trees are just really inspiring. Another how to draw trees. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So I have no shortage of tree stuff. So in a lot of ways, it's good. Ugh, yummy. It's good that I'm using this theme and I'm making several because I have a lot of stuff in that theme, and that's the whole reason that I get things, right? So I didn't print a ton of ephemera, but I did print a little bit because I do have a lot of different digital kits that I've collected from people over a while now with trees in mind, and there's just a lot of pretties. I'm not going to talk about where these all come from unless I know for sure, because they come from a lot of different places, and I'm usually using maybe one page from one person's kit and here and there, and so yeah, it's not something I want to track for this project. I do my best when I can, but I'm not going to stress about it, because that's the kind of stuff that makes me not want to work when I have to think too hard. But I am currently on my lunch break as I'm filming this, and it's a busy day again. But it's okay. I've been having a nice day too. I had a really good day yesterday. So after I finished my work today, I just said most nights I go out walking with the kids. We go out on a little nature hike. So last night we went to our local ecology center and had a nice walk there. The mosquitoes are voracious though. I don't know. I know they say like it's certain people, their pH or the way that their breath may smell, or there's something about like just their, I don't know, their aura. I am one of those people. Like, I am the mosquitoes' best feast kind of person. I don't know why, but they're so attracted to me. Like, even when other people, like, aren't being bothered by the mosquitoes, they are on me, like, all the time. And so every day when we go out, or even when my daughter goes out with her dad, she brings me back these little collections. See? Little so these fun little helicopters. We have so many different maples in this area I live in, so I'm trying to find it. Okay, this feather, there's a little miniature baby feather that was with it, so it was like it had its own feather baby, and I don't know where it is. It was here on my desk. I have to find it or she's gonna be like, what did you do with the baby? So but she always says to me, you can use these in your journal, Mama. And she brings me these little collections every time she goes out. She's picked this up from me being a magpie, right? She's just doing the same thing now. So she's got me like a little honeysuckle and these helicopters, 2 different kinds, and this little yellow leaf, and the mama feather, there's a baby one too, and then this little sprig of things. So I've got all these little things like this. This is just yesterday's collection. I get them almost every day from her. So, you know, I thought it'll be fun to use like the laminator and do some fun stuff like that with these little collections of things that my daughter brings me. Yeah. So also, my husband is super funny, and he sent me this link to this thing on, I don't know if this was a TikTok video or if I saw it on Instagram, but he sent it to me on Instagram, and it's like hashtag girl dinner, and he's like, oh my gosh, I found like absolutely what you are, like what how you eat. So there's this thing called girl dinner, and if you like look up the hashtag like on Instagram, you'll see a bunch of videos. But it's like basically there's another one called like girl like rat summer or rat lunch summer or girl rat summer. I can't remember, but it's basically about how you eat like scraps of things. And so like it's not tapas, it's like a toned down but still kind of hoity-toity thing to eat. Like, you know, a plate will have on it some form of cheese, and like, you know, some form of cracker, but it can't be like a saltine. It's got to be slightly more like leveled up than just that. And like, you know, perhaps like some kind of a cured meat, or random like grapes, or random cut up like celery, or just, you know, and sometimes it's like something a little more, you know, like potato chips. But then there's this other, like, so that's what girl dinner is. It's like this randomness plate of things, right? That you just, you know, hastily collect as quickly as you can because you're doing something else at the time. So there's a more funny version of it now that's being called like Rat Girl Lunch or Rat Girl Summer. And it's about when you, in desperation because you need to eat something, you end up buying something and you eat the whole thing, and it's like both sad and very sad. So the example that it gave was like those grocery store rotisserie chickens, those like little rotisserie chickens. Like for $7 you can buy one and eat the whole thing. And yes, it's your calories for the whole day, but it was so satisfying. You know? And I'm not quite that bad, but oh, there's times for sure. Like, you know, I laughed at my husband because, you know, we were saying something like how like bags of chips, how like they're mostly filled with air, and I said it's kind of like when you eat a whole large bag of chips by yourself or something, you know, which sometimes you do depending on how your day goes. You know, I'm the mom of 2 small children. I have a very busy day job and a side business and other things, and so yeah, I was laughing at that. But I feel like the internet is really starting to like trend my personality, because there's also this video that's going around like on TikTok, and it's like about being a drink goblin. So this is, I also have a big water bottle over here. So, you know, a little while ago my husband was making fun of me again, saying like, oh my gosh, this is so you. And it's like this song that's like, a drink goblin needs at least 3 drinks at a time. And it's one to refresh her, one to warm her up, and one to cool her down. And it's like, it just goes on, and it shows like these women like with like all of their drinks, and I'm like, I have a coffee, I have an iced coffee, a water here, like a bubbly water, and like a regular water jug all on my desk right now, and a spray bottle of water for desperate times, right? But no, that's for art making. So yeah, I'm like, why is the internet suddenly like caricaturing everything I do so that my husband could laugh at me? But that's okay. So yeah, we are starting to get some summer weather here. It's been pretty warm this week, which is nice. It's like my garden's completely out of control. This year we're not really doing a ton of gardening like I usually do. I usually grow everything all the time, and I'm just really, really active in the garden. But this year we've decided to what's the word I'm looking for? Renovate? Yeah, renovate our backyard. So that's been in progress. My husband is primarily responsible for that, and he had to have a surgical procedure for a little bit there that took a while to recover. So we're a bit behind on that, but that's okay. We have all this like stone that I ordered for this project, and like to put underneath these patio stones and these garden stones that we're adding. And it's all been sitting in front of my house in this big pile for a while now. I'm sure my neighbors are like, what is she doing? But that's okay. We have great neighbors. My kids have lately been really into neighborhood walks with my husband while they're walking our dogs. They've been meeting like all the neighbors. So it's actually kind of nice. It's starting to feel like in the city I live in, like we have this very small town situation, because my son, he is 3, and I would say he is an unfiltered like sweetness machine. Like he just wants to you know, he just wants to say hello, and he wants to be like, you know, friendly with people. My daughter is the same way, but my son's a little more like, if your door's open, he might run into your house as we're walking by, so I have to be a little mindful, because he apparently, when my husband was walking the dog with him, there were people in their garage, and they had their front door wide open because they had a baby inside sitting in a chair. So my son ran into their house, whoops, and said hello to their baby, and apparently he got a cookie out of it though. They gave him a big smile cookie. And then ended up chatting with my family for like 15 or 20 minutes while the kids played together. So yeah, it's unconventional but nice at the same time, unexpected. I also have like a queue of videos that I want to make too, but I was thinking about planning one. Like I have one video that's a sponsored video that I need to still make, but then I have like a bunch of things in queue that I want to make, and then I got to get started with Junk Journal July. I'm kind of nervous that I'm going to be able to keep up with it because things have been so busy right now, but I'll do my best. You know I will. But yeah, everything else is going well. Like I'm actually ahead of the game on a few projects, and I think if I can just stop multiplying all my projects by 3 or 5, then I'll be good. But the other thing is, I was saying like to my husband, like I haven't been doing a ton of thrifting, but then I did go thrifting. Well, not thrifting, but there's been a lot of summer reading, like book sales, like a lot of library sales where they need to clear out some things over summer because they're just a bit overcapacitated. So I went to one of those the other day. I didn't find much of anything for journaling, really. I mean, I found like one book of like black and white pictures of people from Hollywood, and then a book of like Inukshuks, which I thought could be kind of cool. But I figured, you know, that's not enough to really do a video, so I'm not going to bother. And then yesterday, one of my local thrift stores that I like a lot, they said like they're having a 50% off all media sale. So their prices are already really inexpensive. So I was like, okay, well I better check it out. So I came in with a whole bag of books from there. But then the nice thing was, like at the library book sale where I didn't find a whole lot, it was awesome. Like it was $2 for a whole like reusable grocery bag full of books. So I was able to restock my little free library, which has just been picked over like really the last month or so. It's been really busy. A lot of people taking books out. But what I can do is warn you about having a little free library, because I find a lot of people come into it with a certain expectation that doesn't get met. So if you're planning to install a little free library somewhere, you probably need to be prepared that most books will not come back. It's not a library, it's a free library, right? So people take things and they don't bring them back most, if not all of the time. That's my experience. I think some people who run them like a community kind of thing where they have like online social media and they really like, you know, work with the community, it can be different. But my experience is very different from that. We also have a lot of students that go by, and a lot of people who are new to the country, so they're not like established yet, so they're looking for stuff to do and to read, and they don't have access to everything they need yet. So I think that's how a lot of them go. And then sometimes, unfortunately, you get people who come and they take everything. It's like a problem with little free libraries. It's kind of regional though. Like there's a couple different things that can happen. I haven't experienced this to the best of my knowledge where I've been like ransacked, but I know some people have experienced it more than once, and sometimes they even shut down their little free library because they're so frustrated. And there's a couple things. So one, it can just be someone being a troublemaker. And another time it can be someone who is a book reseller. And those people are like rats. They just come and they scan everything. They can like trash your library, and they will just take anything they think they can resell. So I always write inside my books, like I have a stamp that says like, little free library, to try to discourage that, just so my supply of books doesn't get like taken right away. But yeah, it's something you got to think about if you want to do this sort of thing. Oh, so what else has been going on? So I'm enjoying the last little bit of June here before I have to update my calendar for all of the things going on in July. I have a very busy July ahead, but I managed to book off a little bit of time because I've just been like, I don't know, I have all this vacation available to me, but it's just a matter of like, when you're so busy at your job, you're trying to decide when is the best time to like take off for a little bit, because you end up, at least for me, it's like I'm sabotaging my future when I do that, because things just don't really get done when I'm away, and it's not the best situation, but it's because we're kind of overtaxed. So I don't think I want to like go away anywhere. I think I just want to maybe spend a day or two at the beach, and maybe take my daughter just on some like nice day trips to places like the Science Center or Art Gallery, Museum, just things that are nice and fun and enriching, and maybe go spend our day downtown Toronto, or maybe get a hotel for the night somewhere, all of us. Yeah, I should look at things. I don't know. These days I feel like I almost just don't want to like participate in activities that are like everybody else is planning to do too. It feels like overwhelming to me, like to have to fight through the doldrums with everybody to like, you know, I think like the years of just being locked down and not going away and stuff, that everybody wants to go everywhere all the time now, and so places that never used to be that busy, like even trying to book with Ontario Parks is really hard to try to like go on a camping trip. Like the system just can't handle the bookings, and I think a lot of people who never used to camp now camp, and so yeah, I don't know, the world feels a lot closer and tighter to me these days, and it's weird. It honestly like stresses me out in ways that I'm not sure what to do about it. Like I've always been an off-season traveler anyways. I like to go when everybody else is gone, because I've never really enjoyed crowds, or like when you have to like, you know, get in line for a super popular attraction, like, and wait forever, and you know, it's just too much. I think especially with small kids, like I might have been okay to do that when it was just my husband and I, but I mean, I even really kind of avoided it back then too. Like I don't like overcrowded things. I think I get a bit of anxiety before going places too. Like I've always been like that for no real good reason. I always end up being happy once I'm there, but it's like the getting there that stresses me out or something. And I'm sorry if you hear stomping and running around. My son and the dog are playing upstairs. My son is in his what I'm calling banshee phase, which is screaming when he's having a great time, but he sounds like a wild banshee. And yeah, I'm really hoping it passes soon, because nobody's enjoying it but him. I've been trying to talk to him about it, but I think, I don't know, he's 3. Like 3 is just the untenable age for some kids. I never understood terrible 2s. It's really about the 3s. For both of my kids, I felt like 3 was the challenging time. My daughter has her first tooth that's growing, her first adult tooth coming in, but the baby tooth hasn't fallen out yet, so it's like stressing me out. And yesterday she was having dinner and she bit a piece of baguette and it really super loosened the tooth. So now it's very, very loose, and I'm so happy about that, because I had like one retained baby tooth from when I was a kid that like it didn't get out, and the big tooth never came in. Actually, it's above it in my jaw, which is weird. But you know, it's one of those things where like I hope the baby tooth hangs on forever, because if it doesn't, that's going to cost a lot of money. So I'm being super cautious with my kids. Like the dentist kind of had a laugh at me because I brought my daughter in for this to check the tooth to say like, you know, should we look at, you know, having it removed if it doesn't fall out. So he's like, let's wait a little while, because, you know, when teeth come in behind the existing tooth, we give kids daily homework to wiggle it every day, and she's been doing that. And like he's like, they almost always fall out in good time without causing any crowding or anything. And then even though they're behind the other tooth, naturally kids push them forward with their tongue. Once that other tooth is gone, it's going to move right into where, you know, it needs to go. Teeth do a lot of shifting. So I said, okay, but I know I have an infinite timeline to this. Like, I'm not going to let it sit forever, because I don't want to have my child with double teeth. I see what happens when that happens, and it's like so much dental work would be required to restore her smile. And you know, dentistry is one of those things where you really have to be able to invest a lot of trust in your dentist and make sure you're not being taken advantage of. It's the same as like veterinary care. Anything that's not covered by like our socialized medicine here in Canada, you've got to be a little careful, because different dentists or veterinarians, they operate differently, and they can end up costing you a lot of money, not always making decisions that are best for you, but sometimes maybe best for their practice, right? And I definitely think my current dentist is not one of those people, but when I had my dentist as a child was one of those people. So I think I have kind of like this trauma from that, because he and his partner, they actually both lost their dental licenses for fraud. After I moved away from the town that I lived in, and I had him for a good amount of my childhood, he was doing all sorts of insurance fraud. So that practice got closed down. So now I feel kind of hyper vigilant about like not being taken advantage of. Oops. Although I think most people are good. You know, most dentists are great people. Not that I enjoy dentistry. Not at all. I'm one of those people who, like, I can brush my teeth 3 times a day and floss every day and still get cavities. And, like, everyone around me doesn't floss or skips flossing to, like, once a week and they get no cavities. I'm just lucky like that, I guess. No, I think it's my genetics, actually. But I've been doing a really good job for years now taking care of my teeth, and haven't had any issues, thankfully. But I always get, like, not always, but I sometimes get those issues where, like, oh, you have a random cavity, like, in between 2 teeth in this, like, you know, little spot that I guess you're not flossing well enough in. It's just like, why? Oh, there's a cavity inside the tooth. I've had some pretty weird experiences with dentistry. But these days, it's just regular old cleanings. So I think I probably will wrap this up a little bit. I just wanted to share with you guys a bit and say hello and show you what I'm working on. Explain to you the hole that I've dug myself into with my journal making and why I'm not going to have any flip through Friday. Because I'm going to have like progress Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for a while. But I think I probably will make the most progress right away on these tree journals, because what I'm doing in my spare time, and maybe I'll share a bit of it with you, is I'm making samples for the artist sample journals that I'm working on too. So yeah, I'll be doing some painting and some other things. I've got lots underway. I found a really nice digital kit to go with those. Because last time I used the Stamperia Atelier des Arts, and it's a very hard paper kit to come by now. I guess it's like, it's already, you know, pretty much done its run or something from Stamperia. It's weird. Like, I see so much Stamperia that has been like sitting around forever in places like the Lady Vagabond, the Alice in Wonderland. Like, I don't know if stores just really over ordered a lot of that stuff, but like, I see it everywhere. And I haven't seen this one anywhere really. So I also was thinking about it though, and it's quite a feminine kit, and I think I want to keep these journals a little more, I know one person has requested that I not use any lace and that I just make it more kind of gender neutral in terms of, you know, if lace is for women, which I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think that you can have lace in a journal no matter who you are. But I totally understand the sentiment, wanting it to be more focused on art and no like traditional femininity. And I think the Stamperia kit kind of does have a bit of that feel to it, because there is like a woman in the kit who, she's like just this woman on like a bit of a background inspired by what's the artist's name? With all the little circles in the backgrounds of his work. Why is it skipping my brain right now? I want to say Lautrec, but it's not Lautrec. Anyways, I'm sure you probably are screaming at your TV and you know who I mean. So yeah, it's a little more feminine inspired, and I think I just want to not do that. And then I was also thinking about, like, do I want to, you know, get a Stamperia? You know, I don't think so. I don't think I want to for these ones. I do have some really nice Spectrum from 49 in Market that I'm going to use though. And that's just more rainbow. It's not like super floral or anything. Some of it's floral, but not all of it. Yeah, so that's where I'm headed with that. So you will see me soon. I have a whole bunch of things kind of in the plans. I'm not going to really stick to like a schedule right now because it's summer and I can't make promises, but you'll see me here doing something. And I'm looking forward to Junk Journal July. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are all doing for Junk Journal July. That's one of my favorite things, is just kind of watching everybody's, you know, videos and having that to look at in the morning. And yeah, but anyways, I likely should wrap it up for this video and come back to you next time, and I'll share some things on Instagram. If you don't follow me there, I'm there too. I'm at Studioloo. Also, I will be announcing a giveaway that's coming up soon, because we are approaching 2,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. It's so fun. I'm really excited about that milestone. And I hope you have an amazing day. Bye for now.